which means that I went to school for a really long time. I post a ton of educational content around nutrition, health, and fitness on social media. I do a lot of debunking style content around nutrition specifically. And I own an online health and fitness coaching company, Fit4Life Academy. I just want to start by saying that it is so cool for me to be sharing the stage with so many cool speakers here today. This is actually my first time speaking at an event like this. I have some previous presentations that I've done at academic conferences. Those are nowhere nearly as fun as these. I usually can't crack jokes and people don't laugh. Maybe it's because I'm not that funny anyways, but I'm sharing this because Matt, who spoke earlier today, was talking about the importance of reflecting on how far you've come in life and documenting the small ones along the way, so you can reflect on them later on. So I'm going to ask you guys to do something really cheesy right now. And I would appreciate if everybody stood up, and I want to take a selfie as documentation of my first talk in the night like this, if you guys don't mind. And we have to flex. Front double bicep, okay? Cool. Here we go. Ready? I guess I gotta flex. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna vertical one too. Alright, awesome. We're 1 minute in. We've got 19 to go. Sweet. Awesome, guys. So today I'm going to be talking about why the vast majority of people fail to lose weight and get in shape, right? And the name of my talk, 95% of people, that is a real statistic. So I'm going to be talking about the main mistakes people make. They're multifaceted. And I really want to talk to you guys about some key concepts that we help our clients work on at Fit4Life Academy to help them achieve their health and fitness related goals in a way that is sustainable long-term. Sustainable long-term is the key word there, because most people don't struggle with losing weight. Most people actually lose substantial amount of weight at some point in their life if they've been struggling with their weight. The issue that we have is weight regain, and I think there's one key reason why, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here today. Let me get a quick show of hands. How many of you guys here are fitness professionals who work with clients? Hands up. Okay, so about half of you guys. How many of you guys are just fitness enthusiasts and you care about learning more about nutrition, health, fitness overall? Sweet. Okay. So for those of you guys who are fitness professionals, what I want you to take from this talk are some maybe different strategies, tips that you can implement with your clients to help them have more success. Because truthfully, as professionals in the field, we would love for all of our clients to have success, but that's not the case, right? And if we can improve our skills to increase the success of more of our clients, that's awesome. And for those of you guys here who are just interested in fitness, well, maybe I'll share with you guys some specific concepts to help you reframe the way you think about nutrition and training and lifestyle to have long-term success with sustainable body transformation. Cool? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I really think the main reason why people struggle with weight loss and improving their physical shape, even though it's multifaceted, is because the majority of methods that people use absolutely suck. It's the truth, okay? They are destined to fail from the beginning. And I like to use an analogy here. Imagine, there's actually a couple people who have been talking about getting wealthy, right? And maybe I can learn a thing or two from them. But imagine trying to be wealthy, and somebody asks you, well, what are you gonna do? And you say, I'm gonna play the lottery, or I'm gonna go gamble. Yeah, sure, there's a small chance, a small likelihood that you might be successful and make some money, but more times than not, you're not going to be successful getting wealthy using that strategy, right? Nobody would say that playing the lottery is a sustainable way to build wealth long term. Yet that's how people approach health and fitness. They go on extremely restrictive diets, mainly because there's a ton of overwhelming information online. They go from not exercising to exercising every day, or even exercising twice a day. I'm going to share a funny story about that in just a second here. And so they can't keep up with these things for longer than maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months at best. So what I'm going to share with you, and the way I'm going to break it down, are 6 key concepts that should help you reframe the way you think about health and fitness. And it's the same sort of concepts that make up our philosophy at Fit4Life Academy and things we work on with our clients. Okay? Concept number 1. The things you do to get in shape are the things that you need to keep doing for the rest of your life to stay in shape. Pretty simple concept to understand. Yet most people say they're going to go on a diet, they're going to go on this workout plan. They never think about the diet after the diet, right? Like, what do you do when you reach your goals? Ideally, you continue doing the things that you did to reach your goals, right? Funny story is, my wife is right there, I spoke with your uncle. And her uncle has struggled with his weight and health for a long time. And he calls me because he knows I do this professionally. He goes, "Hey Joey, I'm trying to lose weight." And I was like, "All right, cool. What are you gonna do?" And he likes to drink often. He goes, "I'm not gonna drink at all." I'm like, "Okay, cool. That's a great start. Might be difficult to go from drinking very frequently to not at all." And then he goes, "I'm going to do Orange Theory Fitness twice a day, every day." This is somebody who doesn't exercise at all. And so my immediate follow-up question was, okay, cool, that's great. What are you gonna do when you finish losing the weight that you wanna lose? And he literally laughs on the phone and he goes, "I'm gonna stop doing Orange Theory." I was like, "Dude, no, please don't do that. Maybe do it 2 or 3 times a week and do it for the next couple of years and build upon that, enjoy it, and then do more over time," right? That is how you build essentially enjoyment with health and fitness, because most people see exercise as punishment, which is not a healthy way to see exercise. So concept number 1, the things that you do to get in shape are the things that you need to keep doing long term to maintain the progress that you have obtained, right? Concept number 2, and stay patient with me because the name might upset a couple of people, but it's that weight loss is the wrong goal. And when I say that to people, they're like, "What are you talking about? I want to lose weight." And weight loss can be part of the outcome, but if you solely focus on losing weight, right? I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight as quickly as possible. That is going to encourage very restrictive solutions. Because if you starve yourself, if you go on really restrictive diets, if you don't eat any carbohydrates, if you do cardio twice a day, like if you use diuretics and fat burning pills, which are really popular, yes, you're going to lose some weight. You're not going to keep it off. Furthermore, doing these things that causes you to lose weight quickly can actually leave you worse off than when you started. Why? Because when you focus on quick weight loss and you don't focus on healthy nutrition, having the right exercise plan, which we'll talk about in the following concepts, you actually lose substantial muscle mass as well. Okay? So weight loss is not synonymous with fat loss. And what I tell people is the goal should not be to lose weight. The goal should be to improve your body composition, which are 2 very different things. They can be related, but they're not synonymous. And when I talk about improving body composition, I'm talking about losing body fat specifically, that's what people want when they say they want to lose weight. They just don't understand that. And we want to maintain or preserve muscle mass as much as possible, right? And for those of you guys here, just a quick show of hands. How many of you guys think you can't build muscle unless you're bulky? No? Okay, cool. You guys are educated. Right? Because you can actually build substantial muscle mass when you're losing body fat as well. Right? So people who are just starting off, it should be about focusing on improving body composition. That's also going to contribute or promote healthy behaviors, because the things that improve your body composition are by nature anti-restrictive solutions, because improving body composition is a long-term game. Okay? So now we understand that the things that you need to do, you need to keep doing forever. And 2, the goal is to improve body composition, not to lose weight. I also wanted to mention here, the whole thing about muscle mass is not just about the way you look. People don't understand how incredibly healthy muscle is as we age. And I'm sure some of the people that are going to be giving presentations later today might speak on this. But higher muscle mass is associated with a reduced risk of pretty much every chronic disease. Diabetes, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, age-related cognitive decline, osteoporosis, which is extremely prevalent in women after menopause. It's very, very important. In addition to that, it helps you look good, right? And it helps you it makes it easier for you to stay leaner because muscle is metabolically active. So if you have more muscle, you burn more calories at rest. So we want to focus and really prioritize preserving muscle mass if somebody is trying to lose weight, improve health, improve body composition. Cool? Now those first 2 concepts are fairly conceptual. And now we'll go a little bit more into the nitty-gritty around nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle as well, okay? So talking about the fact that the goal is not weight loss leads me to concept number 3, which is the goal of exercise is not to lose weight. So many people exercise with the intent of burning off what they ate the day before, or burning calories. That is miserable. That's miserable. I have to go run for an hour because I ate pizza last night. That sucks. You don't want to do that, okay? First off, it is not impossible, but it's very difficult to out-exercise a bad diet. Unless you're young and you have really good genetics and it's easy to stay lean, and then you get old, you're like, I do the same things I did when I was younger and I can't stay lean, and it's because you have these unhealthy behaviors when you were younger. But the purpose of exercise is to improve your health and physical capacities, I think that's a much healthier mindset or viewpoint around exercise, right? Exercise is good for your health. So whether you, I'm sure everybody here exercises regularly, but whether you ate poorly or not, you should still be exercising regularly. Exercise contributes to your health, right? And I'm extremely biased toward exercise that prioritizes muscle growth specifically for all of the reasons that I mentioned prior, right? I think from a psychological standpoint, understanding that exercise has beneficial impacts on health, on your psychology, on your ability to be resilient, manage stress, makes the whole process way more enjoyable. And I'll talk about the importance of enjoyability for sustainability in concept number 6 as well. Okay. That was number 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Concept number 4, and this is the one that I really like to focus on because my area of expertise is nutrition. And I think most people approach nutrition completely backwards. And it's that most people focus on nutrition by focusing on what they shouldn't eat. Okay? Stop approaching nutrition from a perspective of restriction. Okay? How many of you guys have gone on a diet before? Right? Keep your hands up. Now keep your hand up if you define going on a diet by cutting out bad foods. Yeah, pretty much all of you guys kept your hands up, right? I think that's a backwards approach. It's like, this might be a bad analogy, it's like learning how to fly a plane by like learning what not to do, right? Maybe that analogy, but what we like to help our clients develop at Fit4Life Academy is the fundamentals of a healthy and sustainable diet. And I'll talk about what the components of that is in just a second. But when it comes to approaching nutrition from a restrictive perspective, the reason why this is so harmful and contributes to poorer success rate when it comes to weight loss is twofold, really. One is, the research clearly shows that when people think dichotomously about food, and the word dichotomous just means like black and white thinking, right? These foods are good, these foods are bad, I have to avoid the bad foods at all costs. That causes a lot of stress. And unfortunately, the research clearly shows that people who diet with a dichotomous mindset have poorer health and weight loss related outcomes and have a greater risk for eating disorders as well, right? We talk so much about physical health, but mental health is equally important. Right? And we don't want to cause harm psychologically because we're trying to do something positive physiologically. Right? So, first reason is it causes dichotomous thinking around food, which actually reduces your risk of having success. And the second reason is you don't actually learn what a healthy diet is. Right? It's like, okay, I'm not going to eat pizza, ice cream, whatever, name some foods. All right, what are you going to eat then? Right? People talk about eating clean. I don't like that word for a number of reasons. But what I like to promote is helping people develop a healthy and sustainable diet. And I think a healthy and sustainable diet should do three key things. And for those of you guys that might be dieting or on a diet right now, if your diet doesn't do these 3 things, think about modifying some things. One is it needs to meet your nutritional needs, right? Macronutrient and micronutrient needs. If you cut out an entire food group, you're probably going to be deficient in some micronutrients, probably some macronutrients as well. The second one is that your diet needs to help you regulate your hunger and satiety. And I have 6 minutes left, so I can't go into the specifics of everything that we need to focus on here on nutrition, but one thing people really struggle with when dieting is they feel hungry. Right? The thing is, you can make modifications to your diet to focus on specific diet-related variables that help you manage your hunger. Some of the basic things that you guys probably know about: whole foods, protein, fiber, but there are a couple of other variables that we can focus on as well that help with hunger and satiety regulation. Satiety just being the opposite of feeling hungry, I should say. And the third one, which is incredibly important, which people don't think about, is that you need to enjoy your diet. As humans, yes, we eat for sustenance, but we also eat for enjoyability. And a lot of the enjoyment perspective just comes around the fact that like you don't need to cut out foods that you enjoy, right? We all eat different foods based off of our preferences, upbringings, culture. You don't need to change those things, guys. You can focus on healthy nutrition behaviors while enjoying the way that you eat, and that is substantially more sustainable long term. That was concept number 4. That was concept number 4, correct. Concept number 5 is that it's not just about nutrition and exercise. People often overlook the importance of your overall lifestyle. Stress, alcohol, sleep, your at-home food environment. People talk about like healthy people have really strong will, or they're really disciplined, partially, but the truth is that people who are really healthy are really good at modifying their environment so they don't have to use self-control. If your at-home food environment is set up in a way where like you're not constantly seeing cookies on the counter, like it's a lot easier to not have cookies if they're not there, right? That's a simple example, but modifying your environment is really important. But the variable I really like to talk about here, because people often overlook, is the importance of sleep. A couple of variables when it comes to sleep. Poor sleep restriction, or I should say poor sleep, aka sleep restriction, getting poor sleep chronically, is associated with greater hunger, physiologically, like people are hungrier when they sleep poorly, and this is also marked by an elevated concentration of ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone, okay? People also have lower energy expenditure when they sleep poorly, so you burn less calories. And you have a greater craving for calorie-dense foods. Those three are not a good formula if you're trying to lose weight and get in shape, right? So if you currently don't get good sleep and you're putting all this focus on your nutrition and you're still struggling with it, try to address your sleep. I wish that was the only negative side effect of poor sleep, but if we go a step further, poor sleep, people who lose weight and get poor sleep also lose substantially more muscle mass than people who get adequate sleep during weight loss. So if you sleep poorly, can I pick on some, you might raise your hands? If he sleeps poorly and he loses 30 pounds and he sleeps well and loses 30 pounds, the change in body composition is going to be completely different. He's going to lose substantially more muscle mass and less fat mass, and he'll lose almost exclusively fat mass while being able to preserve muscle mass during that weight loss period. So it's not just about how much weight you lose, it's about improving body composition, okay? And we have 3 minutes here, so I want to get to the last concept, which is, if you want to have long-term success with health and fitness, you need to, 1, be process-oriented, not outcome-oriented. Okay, Emily spoke about this a little bit earlier. And you need to celebrate the small wins along the way. Okay? Process-oriented, what does that mean? Well, what are you actually going to do every day to achieve your goal? Right? Maybe this is a little bit OCD, but I like to list out my habits for the day. We have an app with our coaching company, and I track my habits. Did I get my steps in? Did I get my protein in? I weigh myself. I do this stuff like it's part of my job, because 1, it is part of my job, but 2, I want to stay consistent with it, right? It helps with accountability. Everybody here has a job. Everybody here probably has a to-do list every day. If you don't, you should probably have a to-do list every day. But it really helps to be process-oriented, because if you're just hyper-fixated on the outcome, aka losing weight, you're going to go on this emotional roller coaster, because weight goes up and down for a number of different reasons. You might be doing everything right and you wake up heavier, right? And people really get upset about that. Whereas, if you focus on the process, aka doing the things that you need to do every day, I think it's a much healthier approach. And the second aspect of that is celebrating the wins along the way. I can't emphasize how important this is. We do coaching calls with our clients 3 times a week, and every time we start our coaching calls, we start by sharing small wins. And I don't care how small they are. They could be, I got my steps in this week. Why? Because celebrating the wins builds enjoyment. It builds positive reinforcement with the things that you're doing, right? I think as humans, we naturally gravitate towards focusing on the negatives. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do whatever. What about the things that you did do? Celebrate those, focus on those. It makes the process more enjoyable, and you're gonna be more likely to successfully transform your body in turn. Thank you guys. I have a minute and a half, and I think there's a little Q&A. Sure, cool. Any questions? No questions? You guys are good learners. Awesome. Thank you guys. Oh, one question.
How do you feel about time shifted eating?
I think it's a helpful tool. I think when it comes to nutrition, all these things, intermittent fasting, certain diet, they're tools in a toolbox. And when I talk about sustainability, I also acknowledge that some of these things are very sustainable for some people, right? There are people who do intermittent fasting, they see tremendous success, and so they build a brand around intermittent fasting and say that it's the next, what's the saying? The next best thing since sliced bread. Even though sliced bread's not that good, but yeah, that's my general take on it, right? It does work for some people, it doesn't work for other people. I think it can be an effective tool. Do I think it's optimal? No. I don't think it's optimal, but most times we're not looking for optimal, we're just looking for something that is sustainable, helps people, and they can stick to long term, right? I think if somebody does intermittent fasting, it should be done the opposite of what most people do. Most people don't eat in the morning and they eat later in the day. I think it should be the opposite of that. When I was talking about hunger regulating habits, one of the very beneficial habits is eating more food earlier in the day. You have greater energy expenditure if you eat the majority of your calories in the first half of the day. that's pretty easy. You have more energy, you probably just fidget, move more, all of that burns calories. And two, there's also some science showing that aligning your eating behaviors with your natural circadian rhythm of hunger-related hormones helps with hunger regulation. Ghrelin tends to be higher earlier in the day. If we eat more food in the day, that could probably help regulate hunger. So if you fast, don't eat after like 5 or 6, but that's really tough for most people. Yeah, I'm technically, yeah, is that okay? Cool? Yeah. Okay, here, here. GLP-1 agonists. I'll just give my 2 cents on this quickly and then I'll let the mic down, I promise. So this is definitely outside of my area of expertise. I'm not a medical doctor, but I do have experience working with clients who use GLP-1 agonists. And the question is just like, you know, if people use these medications, what about muscle preservation, etc., right? I'm not going to share like whether I think it's good or bad, because I think most things aren't either good or bad, and I think it really depends on the context. What I will say is I think some of these medications are obviously very powerful, very beneficial, and I think they can be very helpful for some individuals who really struggle to develop some of these habits. Because when it comes to regulating hunger, I worked with a client one-on-one, was using Ozempic specifically. And he told me that this was the first time in his life he didn't feel like he was ravenously hungry. Right, so the medication allowed him to focus on the healthy behaviors. I think if used in conjunction in a situation like that, with also trying to develop healthy dietary behaviors and the overall healthy lifestyle, it can be extremely powerful. We have a client, and I promise this will be the last thing I say. She's in our group coaching service, and she started working with us about 8 months ago. She was diabetic, didn't exercise at all, on GLP-1s. And she really has been working so hard on developing healthy nutritional behaviors. She's down about 40 pounds. She's lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week. She got off GLP-1s. She's no longer diabetic and her blood pressure's in a normal range. To me, like, that's why I do what I do. I think that's incredibly cool. But she acknowledges that the medication really helped her develop those behaviors. So that's my 2 cents when it comes to medications like GLP-1. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.